Well. Look what we have here. Chael Sonnen defends UFC and Dana White over fighter pay. Whoa, this is pretty surprising. Chael Sonnen is sucking Dana White's dick again.
I like guys who cry when they don't finish.
Before I go in on Chael Sonnen, click the subscribe button and hit the bell icon. Also like this video. New videos are dropping every week. So UFC veteran Chael Sonnen defends UFC and its president Dana White over fighter pay. And his explanation was that in 2005, fighters was making $2,000 to show and $2,000 to win. Fast forward, right now, fighters make $12,000 to show and $12,000 to win. So he's saying that the minimum pay has gone up 6 times is a proof that the pay is improving. What kind of logic is this? This doesn't make any sense. You know what's funny about this? UFC is paying so well that Chael Sonnen resorted to money laundering. UFC is treating these fighters so well that they start laundering money. This is so stupid. Chael Sonnen forgot to include that UFC right now is making million times more money than they used to make in 2005. Just how dumb you can be. If you wanna defend UFC fighter pay, come with a better argument. Use your brain, Chael. You can do this. Now let's compare UFC's average salary to any other major sports organization. Here is the list. So the average salary of NFL is $860,000, NBA $8.32 million, Premier League $3.93 million, MLB $4.17 million, NHL $3.32 million. Now UFC $148,000. And let's compare to women's NBA $120,000. So the UFC average salary is almost the same amount as women's NBA. And women's NBA is losing money every year. Average 10 million net loss every year. That's how much women's NBA is losing money. And they're getting almost the same amount of salary as UFC fighters. Even during the pandemic, when all the other major sports were losing a lot of money, UFC was killing it. UFC was making insane amount of profits. UFC was making so much profits that the co-owner of the UFC, Endeavor, bought the whole UFC. That's how much profit UFC was making. So Endeavor was losing a lot of money. And only company that was making Endeavor money was the UFC. And Endeavor owned 50% of the UFC and they bought all. Now they own 100% of the UFC. That's how profitable UFC is. Even during the pandemic, they were making record amount of profits. That's because they are not paying UFC fighters. And the reason why UFC fighters are getting paid so little amount of money compared how much money they are generating is because of the revenue share. So UFC fighters are paid about 20%, it's 18 to 20% of revenue. While NFL, NBA, NHL, MLB players are paid 48 to 50% of the league's revenue. That's why UFC fighter pay is so little. The UFC takes most of the money, they take 80% of the revenue. In any other major sport leagues, players get the half and the organization gets half. In UFC, the UFC gets 80% and the UFC fighters get 20%. And another problem with UFC is that you cannot wear your own sponsors. That's another big problem. So you're missing out another big paycheck. Brendan Schaub said that when he used to fight, he used to make over 6 figures just of sponsors alone. 6 figures, and he was just an average fighter. So these UFC fighters are getting fucked over so bad. And here we have a veteran UFC fighter, Chael Sonnen, defending UFC fighter pay. He's defending his daddy, Dana White. And meanwhile, we have Jake Paul fighting for the UFC fighters' rights. Isn't that crazy? Jake Paul is calling out Dana White on UFC fighter pay. And he is also putting his money where his mouth is. He donated over $5,000 Sarah Alpar's GoFundMe page to cover her training costs. Isn't that crazy? We have Jake Paul, who's a famous YouTuber, fighting over the UFC fighter pay and helping fighters. Meanwhile, we have a veteran UFC fighter, Chael Sonnen, defending UFC fighter pay, sucking Dana White's dick. It's no surprise why nobody takes Chael Sonnen seriously. Thanks for watching this video. Remember to click the subscribe button, like this video if you like. Stay safe, stay healthy, goodbye.